Google Plus is a social networking service for Google. It tried to be a competitor to Facebook, but eventually it has it's kind of evolved into more of a professional collaboration tool. And that's what we're going to demonstrate it as today and kind of show you the value of it. And to get to Google Plus, you're going to sign into your Google account and go to your app launcher and find the Google Plus icon. Now, when you come here for the first time, you're going to see a home screen. All right. And along the left side, you'll see there are three major spaces: home, collections, and communities. Those are the three we're going to work with here. So home will show you all of the posts, kind of like your Facebook feed, from people that you follow or collections or communities that you follow. So let's talk about what's going on here with collections and communities. So a collection is an individual person who is adding things to their Google Plus account related to a certain topic. And you can follow collections, and you can follow as many of them as you like. It's kind of like following a person, but an individual person could have multiple collections around different topics. So really you're following a topic. So you'll see there's a few tabs up at the top. The one in the middle is following, and that shows you any of the current collections that you're following. For example, I'm following this Google Apps for Education collection. You also have a featured tab, which shows you other collections that you may want to follow. And then you have a tab for your own personal collections that you've set up. So you see I have one here for Google Resources. Now at any time you can jump up to the search bar at the top and you can type in anything you want, and it's going to search across all people, all collections, and all communities. Okay. So if there's something you're really looking for, just search for it up at the top there. Now, if I go into this collection, this Google Apps for Education collection, you'll see kind of what a main Google Plus page looks like. It is separated out into these individual posts. There's one here, one here. Underneath each one of the posts, you're typically going to have some content and then a space where you can give it a +1, which is kind of like a Facebook like. And you can leave comments. And then you can also share that individual post with other people, either right here on Google or on Facebook or Twitter. So that's generally what one of these pages looks like. Okay, so those are collections. Now I'm going to jump over to communities. Now you'll see communities are similar in that we have three tabs along the top. First is recommended. So these are just different communities that are out there for you to follow. You have a tab for communities that you are a member of, and then a tab for your own personal communities. So unlike a collection, a community is not really owned by any one individual. It is set up by an individual, and then there are members of that community. For example, we could go into this Google Apps for Education community. Now you'll see things generally look similar to what we saw before. We have posts, you can comment and share and all of that, but there are a few differences. Off to the left, you'll see that there is this filter area. And communities are set up so that you can have sections. So in this Google Apps for Education community, if I wanted to only see posts that are about Google Chrome, I can click on that, and only posts that have been flagged as Google Chrome will appear. So it allows for you to have kind of a large community with a bunch of subsections. Now, also different from a collection, you, as the member of a community, can actually post. All right, so down in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see the ability to add a post. Here, this is allowing us to just type in anything that we want to. Now, remember, this community has a lot of members, so you don't want to just flood it with useful things or useless things. You'll also see that you have the ability to add pictures. You can add a link to a website that you may have found interesting. You can also add a poll to the community so that people can vote on things. And then you can post that. Now, if I actually did post this, it would ask me which subsection of the community I also wanted to post it to. So communities are a fantastic way to talk to other professionals around topics that you are interested in. And I'm in this Google Apps for Education community, but you can really join a variety of communities around any topic that might be interesting to you. Now, you might be thinking, well, this would be kind of a nice place for people in our district to get together and talk about for professional topics. And you're absolutely right. There is a Unit 5 community that is set up. And the easiest way to find that is to go up to your search bar and type in Unit 5 community. And then just hit enter. And you will find that the first thing that pops up should be this Unit 5 community. It is a closed community, which means that you can't simply hit the join button. You'll see a ask to join underneath there. And then that will send a request to somebody who will quickly add you as a member. The reason that we do that is so that the public cannot join our community and students cannot join our community. This becomes essentially a virtual teacher's lounge, a space for teachers within the district to share their ideas, to talk about topics that are of interest to them. Now you'll see our community is set up just like the other ones that you saw before. It has subsections down here. So if you wanted to just add something to the science section in the community or the technology section, you're free to do that. You can add a post to the community just like we had seen before. All of the options are there for you. And another nice thing about our Google Plus community is that if you happen to be out at a website and you're reading this wonderful article about Google Classroom, and you think, wow, this would be great for me to share with my colleagues, most websites will have a G+1 icon, this Google Plus icon. And if you hover over that, you'll have the ability to add a comment, say, check this out, everyone. Then it's going to give you a preview of what this is going to look like when you add it to the community. And then down here, this is who you're going to be sharing it with. So by default, it says public. And maybe that's fine and you want to share it that way, but I'm going to actually take that public off, click into here, and then if I scroll down, you'll find our Unit 5 community. As long as you've joined that community, it will appear here. I'm going to choose it, and then it's going to also give me the option to put it into any one of the sections that I want to. Now, this had to do with Google Classroom, so for me, I'm going to put it under the Instructional Technology section. So I go ahead and hit share, and then if I go back to our Google Plus community over here, you will find that our post is already there. And now other people in the district can come and they can like it and they can start talking about it too. They can share comments. Another neat thing about adding posts or adding comments to a post in Google Plus is that when you add a comment, you can say something like, hey, and then add a plus sign and start typing in somebody's name, and you'll see that they will appear. Now, when I go ahead and post this comment, it will send an email notification to that individual to let them know that they have been mentioned in a Google Plus post. So hopefully you've seen some ways that Google Plus can help you be more productive and uh, facilitate professional collaboration and communication amongst your colleagues.